Hey everybody, good evening. My name is Kalle Slaap, watchmaker from the Netherlands, and you're watching live watchmaking here on YouTube for over 9 years now, consecutive. And let's see what we're going to do today here. Maybe you think pocket watch, nah, not for me. This is the end of evolution, and I think it's going to be interesting, even if you're fully immersed into wristwatches. Hey Timmy, hi there. Sunny Exeter, cool. Gary, Mark, hi Mark. Even kijken, ja. So, there we go. Hey Bavaria, good to see you. So, Markson, Wisconsin, everybody is there. Well, maybe you're not into football. The match is very soon. Spain against France. But I opted for a watch that doesn't take too long. And it is still interesting, I promise. So in Plymouth. Hi Matt. Plymouth is the home of submarine navy stuff, right? I think so. Cornwall. Our next destination is definitely Cornwall. Would love to see Mont Saint-Michel, but then on the other side of the channel, at your place. So, Sweden, Eric, Sverige. Now, good to see you all. Hey, you have a lovely Bulova pocket watch. Is it Bulova or Bolova? I am not too sure. So, Doxa. Maybe it is probably derived from the military. They're the red 24 hours. It is inspired by the Breguet numbers. Not quite, but so easily readable. Excellent design. Here you see small cracks, and because it's an enamel dial, but we'll get that so much better. It is just some dirt, some grime inside the cut, a bit like this when it's open, and when we clean it, several ways of doing it, lovely. And even the dial here, the difference in texture of the chapter ring, if you can call it that, and then the inside, you see here, different. If it was just one finishing, it would be dull and but here, in a moment I'll show you the dial, and it is even interesting how it's made. Almost like a railroad watch. Jeff, yeah, interesting observation. Hey Huub, leuk dat je erbij bent. Killian, hi there. Kansas, isn't it incredibly hot at your place at the moment? Denture cleaning tablets. Edwards, definitely, yeah. But denture cleaning tablets, it is an option. But in the ultrasonic bath, with some detergent, and then the same vibration, just as the dental, it's got vibration and bubbles going. So that is definitely going to help. If I'm not mistaken, oh here, let's see, on the inside. Well, let's use the wobbly cam for that. Sometimes it is a screw down lunette, but here with that indentation, it can be opened, and there. Doxa, you probably know already, but that is not the date of production. It's got nothing to do with it. Even on several beer brands, especially here in the Netherlands, you can see those medals, and it's just a recognition for the brand in its history. And there, Doxa, there's the number. And then the next. Always trying to open with my nail because it's soft material and doesn't leave any marks. There it is. You don't have to be a watchmaker to recognize quality immediately. Ah! Oh, look at that. Oh, that's interesting. I am going to show you at first glance what went horribly wrong and how to fix it. Yeah, some perlage in the case back, but now I'm going to show you again at first glance. But yeah. Here. I think this is the end of the evolution of the pocket watch. And maybe your first reaction is it's a bit dull and basic, and just like basic mechanical movements are still being made today. But that's the whole issue. This is the end of evolution and the start, well, not really the start, but the end of pocket watch, and then the birth of the movement of a wristwatch. And this is so very close to the Unitas or the ETA 6497, which is still being used in Panerai, and this is so very much the same. The thing that I thought, well, that was interesting, which it is, I think. Look at this. Here. These are just the screws. Here. Used to be a black polish, but of course the watch has been maintained several times. So here, beautiful black polish on the screws. But now, do you see? This is such a human element. Do you see? They made a horrible. There. They went out the screw slot and then made this horrible scratch on top of the screw head. Then what they do, and they repeat it. Here. So there, you can see even the lines. There. There and there. If I play with the light, the surface is shiny, but it's completely rounded. There. And then this is flattish again. You see what happened? They made a horrible mess of the screw and then put it in... Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Then they put it in a pin vise and just pushed it against the polishing wheel, which will make the surface nice and shiny. But that's not the way these screws should be. I'll do a quick disassembly and then I'll show you how to restore these screw heads and make them perfectly flat again and make the black polish. So, cheers everybody. Jeff, everybody does their best. I always try I always try to be respectful to my colleagues And yeah, most of them do their best. Then again, this is not done on purpose. Maybe that is how naive I am, but nobody's doing, I'm gonna mess up these screw heads I'm gonna make, because it takes effort to make them round and shiny again. So, first, very quickly, just enjoy the all the tiny details, because look at this. The snailing is so delicate that even the lightest scratch. Hey Edward, thank you so much for joining the Cool Cappuccinos. You're a member. Oh, thank you so much for your support. That is so helpful for the, well, financing the channel, because it's all in my spare time. So thank you so much for joining as a member. So, and here, just the basics, but so well executed. Here the snailing is a finishing, just to make it beautiful. And there the contrast, all together now. Contrast is what makes things beautiful. Here the highly polished sides, and look how sharp the transition is. And there the finishing, well, the machining of the parts, but maybe we can call it finishing. Beautiful. Here, highly polished, and the sides. Of course, Doxa is such a good brand. There. Still not over these screws. They really try to cover their tracks. So, yeah. Lovely stuff. Well, balance wheel, nice and free. There looks like, is there something between the capstone, even though there's no shock system? Here, maybe you just see it now here. There is something between the capstone and the jewel. Of course, a capstone is a jewel as well, but you know what I mean. Wow. And this one is untouched. Do you see that? Lovely black polish. Black, all the light is reflected, and now none of the light is reflected. So the perfect surface. And here is just rounded and shiny, but in my view, horrible. Wow, cool cappuccino for 15 months for over a year. Excellent, thank you. So, and here. These are the insane details that I simply love. That bit over there. That gives the illusion of this circle. If this wasn't there, it just wouldn't feel right, even though you don't register it. And here, this is round, and there's the illusion of this rounded surface, just by leaving this bit. And that is, there's a lot of thought going on in leaving this bit open. Lovely stuff. Release the power from the mainspring. Here we see there has been some moisture inside. There and there. Oh. And they try to rub it off. There. With a metal part. And if you did it just with some pegwood, there's with some pegwood in the point, you would rub off the rust without making these marks. And just a drop of WD-40 or rust converter, just let it soak in, will do wonders for the surface rust. If there's deep rust and pitting, well, you already see some marks there, but that is just unnecessary. There. Release the power from the mainspring. First things first, otherwise we're working on a grenade. There. So, oh, here, a lovely detail as well. For the timing and the poising, but mostly timing. Here. Do you see the difference between all of them screws? Here. There are weights. They are, okay, they have a screw slot. And there a screw. Oh, thank you so much, Steve. Excellent, thank you. Super gift. Oh, wow. That's so generous. Again, thank you so much. These are weights. Okay, they are screws, but the function is a weight and not a screw. They hold nothing together or keep nothing in place. So here, the screw head is been reduced for poising. So, but do you see the difference between all those and them? Here, the small rings between the screws make the screw a bit outwards, so make the watch run slow. Tiny, tiny timing screws. There are no screws. Oh, rings, sorry. There's a ring. And they have to be usually on either side, 180 degrees. Timing screws, so you can leave the compass and the timing pins just around here in the middle. That's the best. So, oh, and you probably noticed last week I was a bit under the weather, didn't feel well at all. So I was so low on energy. Maybe I should have skipped, but then again, but I was extremely low in energy, and now things are so much better. There's some light rust, and here's some surface. No problem, we can fix that. And here the screws go over the side there, so the movement comes out from the front, as usual with pocket watches. Make sure your screwdriver is got the best width. There. If you keep your screwdriver sharp, hey, and here it's even curved and there's a flat one. So maybe I'll look for another screw head. So, there. So this one is probably been replaced at some time. So, winding stem is out, that one is out, that one is out, so the movement is ready to come out from the front. I have to check the lunette, because there's a good chance it is a rotating lunette. Yeah. looking for this line there. There. Okay. We can open it with a small bench knife. If it was all like this, completely closed, then it's probably a rotating bezel. But now with this, we probably can open it with a bench knife. If present. And why wouldn't it be? So I'm watching you try to fix a watch. So simple bench knife. You saw the indentation. Well, you can do it like this. Why not? There. Do you see me? It's pushing in and not wiggling it, because if you just push it, you use the width of the knife to push it open, just act like a wedge. But if you wiggle, you leave marks. And now the other side, because here, there. You see, even if it's soft material, might be this is not silver, but even if it is soft material, if you use your bench knife as a wedge, you don't leave any marks. So there it is. The only way you can find out if it's crystal or acrylic. Acrylic. That's the only way I can do it. Yeah. And I gently just push it out. There we go. No stress. I will show you the details on the dial because it is so subtle. Oh, thank you. Hey, Phil. Excellent. Thank you so much. Lovely. Lovely gesture. So generous. You didn't have to do it, but lovely. Thank you. The dial is so subtle and elegant. And I cannot overstate the beauty. And you don't see it, you don't register it until you know what you're looking at. A moment ago, you saw, I was telling you about here, this line that makes all the difference. Because here the chapter ring is reflecting the light. And there's a satin finish here on the inside. And that makes it so much more readable. And it looks beautiful. And here, again, the contrast between the subdial and this ring. If this was shiny, it just wouldn't look right. And it is enamel, because here you can see the cracks. So these numbers are pet printed and then fired again. So the different colors, the red and the black, are fired in the enamel. And the name here. So that is, and of course the subdial. Firing enamel, because I went to on training at lovely Kalle Slaap in Val d'Ajou. A misfire is always possible, and to make this shiny, it is glass, so you have to rotate it and make it flat. It is so much work to make it look this easy. It is insane. Yeah. Well, we have new latex thingies. There. I'm using this latex, but there is no way that my levers can scratch the glass from the enamel, but they can leave stains. And these hands might be very tight, so it makes sure that the hands stay in place. That's it. These tiny ones for the subdial. I don't mind you watching with me. Gently underneath. Oh, another lovely detail. And I really do mean that. Here. Here's the blued hand. There. With the brass insert, because the bluing can only happen with carbon steel at a certain temperature. And there the whole secret of the bluing is in the degreasing, because it is a physics reaction between the carbon steel and the oxygen in the air, which makes it blue. So if there's some grease staining still on the surface, that bit won't turn blue. Zo. Hey. I think we found the root cause why the watch wasn't running that well. Why it came in for well, a revision for maintenance here. This is the #1 reason with quartz watches why they run slow. Probably the only reason why quartz movements run slow. Because here is the hour hand. You see how deep it goes inside. So this bit here is touching the inside of the dial. Simple as that here. Do you see with the hour wheel there's hardly any space between the hour wheel and the dial? Definitely root cause why this watch wasn't running on time. It's got nothing to do with the movement. It's just catching the inside of the dial. Yeah. So, where are the dial feet screws? Let's remove the ring from the outside. There's another ring. No dial feed screws, so that is probably that one and that one. Yeah, here. His own reasoning and just a tiny bit of experience. There's the dial feed protruding the main plate. It will be visible in a moment. But I want to remove the dial first. So that is... And you feel it releasing. You see there's slack. So now it isn't catching the dial feed. And here, because it's a different size than that one, and that one. You see that one and that one. There. Even through the sides you can see the dial feed. There. You see the copper color? Lovely. Yeah. No stress, nothing. And you'll probably see... Oh, fair enough. How to resolve the problem with the dial. Sorry. I was just intrigued by the movement. Here. So here's the dial. So it has to move. No, sorry. We are adjusting the position of the dial, adjusting to the movement. You cannot do nothing about the holes in the movement in the main plate. The only thing we can do is just bend the dial feed. So the whole dial has to go that way. So the feed has to go that way. And my favorite tool for that, oh, there's the bench knife. Where is it? I used it not too long ago. Well, mine cannot be far, but I've got a spare. Oh, look at this. My dear friend, oh lovely, Jeroen Kieven. Man, binnenkort weer even een bakkie. These are his tweezers. And this is the... Does it have a number? not a number. Well, these are very thick, hefty. Of course you can use pliers, but for me, I get the best result with these. Maybe somebody knows the number of these ones. So the movement has to go, the dial has to go up. So the feet have to go that way. Naar beneden. Ja. Here, these dial feet are properly copper. A colleague of mine has got another way of doing. It is bold, but to be fair, he gets perfect results with placing the movement and the crooked dial in a vise and gently push against the dial and push it back in place. I think I lack control doing that way, but to be fair, credit where credit is due, he gets nice results. Zo, een beetje meer. Even kijken hoe hij moet. Zo. Not quite. Ah, of course. Of course. There you go. One dial feet there. I'm not sure if we can, of course, it hardly ever happens with a enamel dial feet. We can try to solder it back because there's no chance of discoloration. It's probably been soldered once before. Yeah. It has been soldered before. Oh, they did a pretty good job. Look, this is soldered after firing. And dial feet usually are, almost always, are connected to the metal bit before enameling. So no biggie, we can resolder this. Nevertheless, I'm sure this is the root cause why the watch wasn't running on time. No big issue. I just wanted to show you the end results. And here, this is just completely unnecessary. Oh well. There, the hour wheel. This might even be the very old traditional way for the cannon pinion. You see that? The cannon pinion, this bit, isn't connected to the center wheel with a small indentation, but there's a small pin there going through the center wheel, and that is locking. Check, check, triple check. Yeah, convinced. What you shouldn't do is try to pull off this cannon pinion upwards. The thing is, here with that pin on the inside and there on the back, you have to push it out. And why not do that right away? Never a simple, there's no such thing as just a simple job. I use the Horia because I got some control about the force I'm pushing down. Here the insert there. Make sure that this goes supporting the center there. See that? And then on top you use a flat bit for pushing down. There. Supported. Nee, so easy. Then from the top, I think Richard made this one on the lathe because it didn't came with the set. Here, just a flat bit for pushing out. It goes in the top. So nicely supported at the bottom. So it's all supported, so all the press, the force is just straight down from the pin. Pushing down, just a tiny bit, but you got so much more control with the Horia. And if nobody listens, the cheaper Chinese ones aren't better than the Swiss, but they are getting so much closer every single time. Microscope, here we go. I just pushed from the top. That pin, you see, it's nicely supported, so the pin comes out. And now the cannon pinion. So the friction isn't coming from the cannon pinion against the center wheel pivot, but it's coming from this pin inside the center wheel pinion. Does that make sense? I really didn't expect this construction this late in this pocket watch. Yeah. No stress. And now we can continue with the disassembly. Those screws, restoring the screw head, because this takes a bit more longer than I thought. I promise, I make a small special about which steps to use to restore these screw heads. Promise. Lovely perlage. There, the number. Still not sure about the date of this watch. So, and here, even the autofocus test. You can still see that that is highly polished arbor of the main barrel. You can already see probably the original mainspring is still in there. And there the highly polished pinions. And it's all... And that's why I think this is the end of the evolution of pocket watches. Because all these tiny details we find in wristwatch movements as well. Here the small inspection hole for the depthening. Everything you see is, well, it's just about the same as a wristwatch, a simple movement. But that's it. This is the template of the miniaturization towards wristwatches. In my view. Please feel free to disagree at any moment, but that's what I think. Just use the movement holder. And now I'm not sure. And we are restoring all brands from, well, 200 years ago. We don't do too many pocket watches still, just lever escapements. But so and all brands, all models from really high end to daily beaters. With all respect, a simple Seiko. Not because that is the bottom of the food chain, but that is just an affordable watch, and we do them as well. Nothing against Seiko. My gut feeling, and again, I am not, and that's why I'm not an expert on brands and on models. Not at all, even. Sometimes I'm not even aware of the brand of movement I'm working on, because it's completely irrelevant until you need parts. It feels to me that this is a modern alloy balance spring. Maybe it's really early an early adapter. Maybe it is a replacement for a carbon steel blue spring, but I'm not too sure. But I'm sure there are Doxa experts who probably can tell us. Here, how the screw should be, and there how the screw definitely shouldn't be. Pocket watch, in our world a really heavy balance wheel, so I try to grab the balance cock and balance wheel at the same time. Go underneath. If it works, doesn't work, try to work. There we go. Here I'm holding with my tweezer the balance wheel as well. So, no stress on the spring. Oh, maybe it was just out of focus, but did you see the spring catching a bit? Lovely quality. There. Here. The delicate perlage. Maybe you heard it before, but if you're new on the channel, perlage is the circular graining and overlapping and make well, look like pearls. But perlage is one of the few finishing techniques you can do in a recess, because it's just go down, 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 down. And there's not too many finishing techniques that can do that here in a recess. Here they do it all the way, unlike Rolex for quite some time. Decades. And not like Panerai, they do it just here, 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 here. Just this bit is on perlage, so you can see in between the cocks and the bridges, you can see some perlage, and the rest of the movement isn't finished at all. And that is just ruffling my feathers a bit. To be honest, finishing doesn't make a watch run better. Finishing the part, hey, interesting. Pallet fork sticking in the bridge is unusual because there shouldn't be any lubrication there. Pivots are okay. The guy, probably a guy, working on the watch the last time was wearing a blue sweater. It's a fiber, not a hair. Another reason why a pallet fork can stick in the pallet fork bridge, is when the pivots are mushroom shaped And that doesn't happen too often at a pallet fork. But then it sticks as well. But now it isn't. Here. Simply dried up lubrication where there shouldn't be any lubrication. The bottom jewel is dry. Do you see that? It was just on the top jewel. Hey, it is. Is there a chip? Let's see. Sorry about that. If I play with light, there. That bit is a bit, yeah. Slight chip may affect the running on the movement. Well, there. Come op. Yeah. Just look how sharp it is. Lovely. Well, ratchet wheel with the beautiful finishing. Well, an obvious question is, can you redo the snailing so this won't be visible? But of course we can do snailing, but it never fits the original because you probably have to do that one both so they have the same exact graining. So it is what it is and we leave it well like that. Because, to be honest, of course we can do it and we would love to do it, but repair or revision or restoration has to be affordable as well. Simple as that. So somewhere we have to say, okay, well, this is it. A watch, any watch, no watch is ever finished. You can always improve, adjust, poise, finish. No watch is ever finished. There. Pivots in lovely condition. Look at that. And another fiber. Ah. This is even more root cause than the dial. So the watch is dropped, hence the dial being shifted. Yeah. There, a complete chunk. Try to catch the light and in focus, which is a bit hard. There. Oh, yeah, of course I can show you. Of course, with the X-ray trick. There. Lights out. Whammo, lights out. There we go. Works a treat. It's like making an X-ray. It's beautiful. There. You see the chips from the top? Completely gone. This is the even worse root cause for malfunction of the watch. And the simple reason, sorry, a bit more context. Here. The tiny pivot is in the hole of the jewel. There, the bottom one. But there you can see, well, in my world, quite some surface. There, that bit there, that is rotating over the cracked jewel with so much more friction than when it's completely flat. And watchmaking is all about reducing friction. Keep that in mind and it will make life so much easier. There we go. So I promise to make a special about these screw heads. How to restore them into these. If you are interested in these restoring techniques, and of course I'm going to show you, but if you want to learn really in depth those restoration techniques, please check out Hendrik Korpela's KHWCC, Korpela Hof's Watchmaking Competence Center in Le Locle. They do training, and we went there with our team several times, and I'd love to go again with the new members of our team. But if you're interested in all those finishing techniques, restoration techniques, Hendrik Korpela is the guy to go to. It is an investment, but it pays off in your skill and all the restorations you can do for and the value it gives to your client. highly recommended. Korpela Hof's Watchmaking Competence Center. And the guy is so funny. Well, some unexpected surprises here in just a normal hand-wound movement. Well, some people, some say, easy to work on because it's large. And that is, well, try to be political correct here. I fully believe an outdated statement, because if everybody's working under a microscope, all movements are the same size. So it's just an eye-hand coordination difference. And that's why we do during the training here all small exercises, and within 30 minutes. That's all it takes. If you don't get the hang of it within 30 minutes with our special exercises, go fishing. It's not for everybody, but working under a microscope like this, all movements are the same size. Here again, this is slightly chipped. It takes quite a bit of force to do that. Here. The hollow pivot center wheel. The really old way of doing. Lovely. There, the wheel with the elongated sub-second pin pivot. But the reason why the movement wasn't... Oh, look at this. Hello. Why is all the grease here? Why is there any grease here? Sting is always in the tail. Why is all the... It's not oil, it's grease. Not dried up oil, definitely not. This is the main reason why the watch wasn't running well, and the dial, but the dial feet we can solder on, no problem. We've got a new machine. Perfect. And all the way of doing that dial feet soldering is in our book Watchmaking Explained on Chronoglide, there chronoglide.nl. Lovely, enjoyable stream again, and with some energy, and instead of last week's. Again, well, sorry about that, but it wasn't feeling well. Hey, I promise I do within 2 weeks, because I'm relying on Teun for his editing time. I make sure I make a step by step video how to restore these screw heads. Promise. And all of you, thank you so much for your attention and becoming a member. That is so helpful for our the growth of a channel, and to be honest, a bit of revenue to pay for the free time. If I missed, I was concentrating on the watch because there was a few things I didn't expect to be wrong. If I missed some questions, you can leave them via our website chronoglide.nl, and with community you find our forum, and you can leave all your questions at the forum, and then the guys Tom, Mark, Rob, Juriaan will compile them, and I will answer them, all of them. Lovely stream. Again, lovely to do it. All of you, thank you so much for your attention. Enjoy the football, Spain against France, and hope to see you soon.